The wise prevail through great power, and those who have knowledge master their strength. Proverbs chapter 24, verses 5. Hello, beautiful family. Warmest welcome back again to the Lovystouch channel. Thank you all so much for coming back. Happy World Jollof Day. Today is going to be compilation of different jollof recipes we have enjoyed on this channel. These are the different shades of jollof for you. The Ghanaian jollof, of course. So please, you want to stay tuned because there are going to be varieties of different shades of Ghanaian proper jollof recipes to choose from. So this video is for you, for the jollof beginners, for those who want to elevate their jollof skills, those who want to try new jollof recipes. Like, you have it all in one. So you just do not go anywhere. Enjoy all these amazing jollof videos. And also do not forget to give me a thumbs up because it's very, very important. Okay, let's get started. So let's begin with this beginner-friendly jollof rice and turkey. It's more like the traditional way that I was taught to make jollof rice, and it's very, very easy and simple. So please do well to stick around and let's get started. To go ahead and steam my turkey. Out of steaming the turkey, we're going to get that beautiful stock out of it that is going to help us build our flavors for this jollof rice. Okay, you can also go ahead and use chicken if that's what you have. Because this is a quick one, go ahead and throw in your turkey or your chicken in your pot and add your favorite seasoning to it. In some garlic powder, ginger powder, and some chicken seasoning from my sister Tasty and Fresh. I'm also going ahead to add some salt, shallots instead of the regular onions. You decide. Okay, cover it and allow it to simmer on a low medium heat for about 10 minutes before you go ahead and add some water. I added about a cup of water just so that I can get good amount of stock for the jollof rice. All right, so I'm going to switch positions right now and I'll allow it to cook for about 10 to 15 minutes while I proceed with my jollof rice. Okay, so let's go through the ingredients one after the other. I have here 600 grams, close to 4 cups of Yasmin long grain rice, and I always go for the Royal Umbrella brand. It is not sponsored, but it is the best Yasmin rice yet. Okay, so if I find anything else, I'll just let you know. Of course, I've been asked lots of questions about that. That is why I'm sharing. Okay, and for the rest, I have some chopped canned tomatoes, which is around 400 grams, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. I have 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, and I have 2 large onions, peppers, garlic, and ginger, anise seed, and some thyme. I will leave everything down below in the description box, not forgetting our cooking olive oil, some salt, of course, and all the seasoning as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is to blend all my natural spices, that is the ginger, anise seed, and some thyme, onions, and the garlic, peppers, everything together. Add a little bit of water and just blend everything together. Let's go ahead now and start with our stew process. Okay, this is a quick stew. In my pot, I'm going to add in my oil. I added about 80 milliliters of oil. Allow it to slightly warm up a little bit and then add my chopped onions. Fry it until it's caramelized, and I'll just go ahead and add the blended natural spices. Here is so green because I use the papushito. Okay, go ahead and use the red peppers as well. It works very well. So I ended up using just about a tablespoon of tomato paste. I just did not need too much, okay, of that. Had to introduce the curry powder here just to reduce the sourness that the tomato paste brings. Just want to make sure that you stir very well, especially the bottom of your pot, since we'll be cooking the rice, everything in the same pot. Okay, so I'll go ahead and add my chopped canned tomatoes. You can also use about 5 medium size of fresh tomatoes. Please do well to chop it instead of blending it. For me, it helps with the cooking process a little bit faster. Okay, whilst you blend the tomatoes, it increases the acidity that comes with it, hence you have to be cooking and cooking over and over again. So try to chop it instead of blending it. All right, that is my little secret right there. So I'll cover it and also allow it to cook for about 15 minutes, making sure concentrating well on the bottom of the pot. Okay, then add my bay leaves and all the seasoning that comes with it. Please do well, feel free to use any form of seasoning that you love, but do not omit the nutmeg. If you're a fan of nutmeg, please add it, you will love it. I just grated about quarter size of a full nutmeg. Okay, so go ahead, go do your stirring. Do your stirring very well and cover it for another 10 minutes ish, and you should be done with your stew. Okay, meanwhile our turkey is well cooked, so we're going to take it out and allow it to cool down before we start to air fry it. Okay, that stock is what is going to enhance all the flavors that we have in this jollof rice. Once done, you go ahead and do well to wash your rice before you add it to the stew, because right now the stew is done after 10 minutes. After cooking the stew for about 25 minutes, it is ready to receive the rice. Yes, your washed rice. So you go ahead and add your rice, just like I'm doing. And once everything has been added, you go ahead and stir. You already know jollof really needs lots of stirring, so you make sure that you stir until everything is well incorporated. Yes, just give that stir going. And once done, you're going to get something like this, very saucy. It's that time for us to add our stock that we got from steaming our turkey. This is of course one of the ways to build up the flavors for your jollof. And if for some reasons you cannot have chicken, meat or whatever, don't worry at all. You can definitely make your jollof without any form of stock. I have already shared a recipe of that, and I'm going to link it down below in the description box and here as well. I'm always very particular with salt when cooking, so the perfect time for you to add the salt is when the stock and everything has been already added to the rice. There you get to taste. It's the perfect time for you to know the exact amount of salt needed. Go ahead and cover it on a low medium heat. Allow it to cook for about 10 minutes before you attend to it. Okay, so right now what I'm doing here is I'm going to air fry my turkeys. You can decide to deep fry it or oven fry it, whichever way is perfect. Okay, I love my air fryer so much. So 10 minutes just went by. I noticed that all the water that was in here has been evaporated. Yes, it helped with the cooking process. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and cover it, this time with parchment paper. The heat is going to cook the rice thoroughly for you. Around this time, you may notice that the rice is hard, it's not cooked, and you'll be thinking of adding lots of water to it. Don't do that. You will end up with a saggy jollof rice. Not appealing at all. Okay, just cover it with parchment paper for about 12 to 15 minutes on a medium heat, and just look at what will happen to your jollof. Just so good. I really want you to try this recipe and you are going to be the real jollof. Look at this. It is not too saggy, neither it is too dry. Just the perfect consistency that you need. Okay, and on our air fried turkey, they have been fried so well. Look at that beautiful brown golden color. It's just so inviting. If you calculate the time, it took us not more than 50 minutes for us to get this jollof rice done, right? It's garnished very well with the turkey. No need for any hula baloo here. We are done, and all that we have to do now is to serve and enjoy. Of course, we have our Ghana salad to go with it. Don't worry, I've had lots of requests of how I make my salad. Even though I have shared the Ghana salad recipe, you still ask me. So on my next video, I'm going to share with you 3 simple salad recipes that you're going to love for this up and coming Easter holidays and beyond. Okay, so watch out for that. I am so thankful that you watched right to the end. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up, as it helps and motivates me to do more. It really helps. Okay, don't forget that, and also share to a few friends and family. So on to the next jollof recipe we go. Please stick around, do not go anywhere. This is what I call the Stockless Jollof Rice recipe, and it's perfect for those who cannot have chicken or meat. Maybe you have heard that the perfect jollof really depends on the stock that you use. That is not entirely true. So don't go anywhere. Let's make this together. Need 1.5 cup of jasmine rice. I have tried lots of other rice. Always find jasmine rice to be the perfect one. And here I have 2 tablespoons of tomato paste and 500 grams of chopped tomatoes. And I also have a thumb of ginger, 3 cloves of garlic, habanero peppers, shallot, red and golden onions, orange bell peppers, and here I have a teaspoon each of coriander seed, rosemary, anise seed. Here are some bay leaves, Maggi cubes, curry and nutmeg powder, and of course I have here my vegetable cooking oil and some salt to taste. That is all, family. So right now I'll go ahead and prep my natural spices. I'm gonna blend all my ginger, garlic, habanero pepper and all the herbs together with the shallots. So once that is done, I'll go ahead and chop my onions and the bell peppers as well and begin with the stew process. Into the heated pan goes in my vegetable oil. Here you can also use coconut oil if that's what you have, and I'll drop in gently my onions and begin to fry it until it turns golden brown, and then add my tomato paste. Here I'll add half teaspoon of curry powder to reduce the sourness that the tomato paste brings sometimes, and go in with my blended spices, and I added my habanero pepper as well. We'll drop my orange bell peppers. You can use the green one as well if that's what you have, and I'll allow it to fry for about 10 minutes before I will introduce my chopped tomatoes. About to fry our stew for about 35 minutes more before we even go ahead with anything else. I'll rinse the blender, cover it and allow it to fry, but you just have to also be checking on it every 7 to 10 minutes to avoid your pot from burning. Okay, that's 20 minutes now, so I'll go ahead and add my curry and nutmeg powder and drop in few of my bay leaves. It can be really messy with the stew process, so please be sure to clean the edges as well. Have 10 more minutes at hand before the stew gets ready, and this is the perfect time for me to add my shrimp cube and also salt to taste. And once that is done, I'll stir very well. Once that is done, I'll cover it and I'll allow the stew to simmer for 10 more minutes, but be sure to check on it every 5 minutes. Another important stage of your jollof rice is for you to wash your rice. Please, I cannot stretch that enough. Wash your rice. First of all, it's from the factory. You do not know what it went through. Secondly, reduces the starch content in your rice. And third, and the most important thing, is that it prevents your jollof rice from getting really dry. Okay, especially for this recipe. So be sure to wash and wash again until the water turns crystal clear like this. To stir very well, let the stew and the rice incorporate well together, and your jollof rice is coming along really well. And as I said from the beginning, we are not going to use no stock, not even water at this point. What I have to do here is to taste for salt, and here I needed 1.5 teaspoon of salt. You can go ahead and taste for yours as well. I used about 20 minutes to get this rice done. For the first one, I cover it for 5 minutes and stir it again and cover it this time around with my parchment paper, and be sure to also cook it on a very low heat, okay, just so that you avoid your rice from burning. Nobody loves a burnt jollof rice. Yes, the parchment paper is going to trap all the heat and bake your rice for you. Yes, that is the tips right there. Don't use anything else. The parchment paper works so well. You stir it again. Of course, jollof, you need to do a lot of stirring. You stir it once. One of the things that lots of people do not like about jollof rice is the stirring. Yes, you need to do a lot of stirring. So once that is done, I'll sprinkle a little bit of the spring onions and give it that perfect crunchy touch. Look at that. Just have a look at that. I'll cover it again with a parchment paper and leave it for 5 more minutes, and our rice will be done. In the meantime, I'll get my baked chicken ready. Yes, we're going to pair with this oven baked chicken. Was so delicious. And of course, if you're Ghanaian, you know your Ghana salad goes perfectly well with this. Yes, I made that as well, and it was just the perfect combo ever. Deliciousness. We give our jollof 5 minutes more, and guess what? It is ready. Yay. It's always exciting when your jollof is finally ready. It's ready to be enjoyed. Yummy. Smells heavenly here. I always say this, that jollof does not depend on the country at all. It depends on the cook, the chef. Yes, so please learn few tips here and there to improve on your jollof skills, and let's stop the jollof war right now. I am a Ghanaian anyway. I come from Ghana, and I think we have the best jollof anyways. I am so sorry for that. Please do not come for me, okay? Do not come for me. But where is the lie though, right? Thank you so much, family, for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed this recipe. Click on the notification bell for new future uploads. Stay tuned for another delicious jollof recipe of mine that you're going to love. Today is jollof open jollof. So cook this delicious beef jollof rice together, and also do not forget to like this video if you like what you're seeing already, okay? 1 kilo of jasmine rice, 2 chopped canned tomatoes, a teaspoon of tomato paste, curry powder, nutmeg powder, and all my natural spices, and of course my garlic, ginger, and onions. Please don't worry at all. I have everything listed down below in the description box, and here I have my washed beef and all the other vegetables that I'll be using, and here I have my vegetable cooking oil and salt to taste. I want my stew process to go a little bit faster than the usual, so I'm gonna put my canned chopped tomatoes in my baking form. You can absolutely add any vegetables of choice, but here I have half chopped red bell peppers, half chopped Anaheim peppers, and some shallots. I'll add it together and put it right in the oven. We will be baking this for 15 minutes at 160 degrees Celsius, and I'll go ahead and do the rest of the chores, which is steaming my meat. So I'll go ahead and cut some onions, ginger, and all my natural spices here. And also, I do not want to waste the seed of the bell peppers. It has some sweet taste to it, which I absolutely love. So here, there is no waste at all. Once everything is done, I'll just blend everything together and go ahead and steam my meat. And here, it's always very important to use the type of natural spices that you're used to. Okay, these are the ones that I like, and everything is in the description box, so please check it out. Okay, once the blending process is done, I'll go ahead and put my meat in my pot. Here I'm using my frying pan, it works perfect. Then go in and add my blended natural spices, and also add half chopped red onions, and I will also add a teaspoon and half full of salt to taste. And mind you, you do not need to add any extra water, as the meat produces its own juices. And now after 7 minutes, just have a look at that, we never add any form of water at all. So altogether, I steamed this meat on a medium heat for 10 minutes, and I think the meat is done. It is really very important not to overcook your meat, because it's going to be really saggy. Yes, I am loving this beef stock right now. Let's see how the tomatoes has been baked. It's wonderful. This is exactly how it should look like. Okay, so once everything is done and prepped, I go ahead and begin to fry my meat. You may also choose to fry it in the air fryer or in your oven, whichever way is amazing. All right. Now you would want your meat to be as crunchy as possible, because you do not want it to remain saggy in your rice. It's a no-no. 99% of Ghanaians do not like that. So it is a must, but it totally depends on your taste. Okay, so once that is done, I'll just go ahead and fry my onions in the oil that I used to fry my meat, and add my tomato paste and my blended spices. I allow it to simmer for 5 more minutes. Now everything will make sense why we baked the tomato first, because this is going to be the fastest stew you've ever made. Yeah, so once the tomatoes or the baked tomatoes goes in, you go ahead and add your curry powder, nutmeg, and your bay leaves, and also the stock, and then you cover it for it to simmer for 10 more minutes, and your stew will be done, ready to receive your washed rice. Okay, wash your rice. You can really tell how this is going to be rich from the amount of stew used in this jollof. Oh boy. Then stir it and make sure your rice and the stew has been mixed well together. So it's now show time, family. You just cover it with your parchment paper and make sure you steam it for about 7 more minutes, and you come and check on it. Stir it again. You would then add your vegetables, which is optional, but I always love to see some vegetable together with my meat. Okay, I use some spring onions, French beans, and some red bell peppers as well. Just stir it, give it a good stir, and then goes in our star of the dish, which is our fried meat. Those meat are so tempting. So realize that we did not add any form of water at all, just because the veggies has its own juices that it produces, and the meat as well. So you just want to cover it with your parchment paper, trap the heat, and it's going to cook it through for you. It is such a simple way to cook your beef jollof rice. Absolutely delicious. After cooking this jollof rice for about 35 to 40 minutes, and it's about to be served. It looks so amazing. Oh my goodness, jollof rice really makes me happy. There you have it, family, with our beef jollof rice recipe. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and if you did, do not forget to give me a thumbs up. Please leave a comment and let me know how you think about this recipe. Time around, we will be pairing it with some garden salad, and it was absolutely delicious. All you need is a very chilled and good drink to push everything down. If you enjoyed this, please make sure you give me a thumbs up. On to the next jollof rice we go. Stay tuned for more. To the next jollof, we are going to make this delicious corned beef jollof rice. Here I have 1 kilo of Yasmin long grain rice, and I have 140 grams of tomato paste. I also use 300 grams of chopped tomatoes. To that, we have some chopped red and white onions, and I have some blended garlic and ginger, and my all natural spice blend, which I also have a recipe. I'll link it right here if you've not watched it yet. I have here 340 grams of corned beef, which is the star of the dish, and I have a tablespoon of my natural spice blend, a teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of curry, 4 dried bay leaves, and a nutmeg that I will grate later on. And here I have 1 chopped red bell pepper, including 1 habanero pepper, and I'm going to blend it all up, and I included the seeds as well. I'll be using 3 tablespoons of virgin coconut oil, and here are some vegetables to garnish it. I will list everything down below in the description box. Okay, so let's just get started. This is all that you'll be needing. All right, if you missed any, please check down below in the description box. In with, I will melt my coconut oil, and once it's warm and melted, I'll then go ahead and add my chopped onions and my tomato paste. And to my tomato paste, I'll add 1 tablespoon of the curry powder, and I'll fry it for about 3 minutes before I introduce anything else. Mind you, the tomato paste is very much concentrated, and hence it needs to be cooked a little bit more than the rest of the fresh ingredients. Okay. The tomato paste and the onions, I'll go in and out with my blended natural spices, blended garlic and ginger. I'll also add my blended peppers and also the chopped tomatoes. I ended up using just 300 grams of the 400 grams of tomatoes that I had, because I realized that it would be too tomatoey if I did not reduce it. Okay, so please be sure to adjust the amount of tomatoes that you prefer in your jollof rice. Okay, so I also added about 1/4 cup of water. Make sure everything is well mixed together, and I cover it and allow it to slowly cook for about 20 minutes. And once that is done, you can see that it is bubbly, it is hot, so you just have to be very, very careful with that, just so that you do not hurt yourself. Okay, so it's now time for me to introduce my corned beef. As you can see, I saved about 1/4 of this corned beef, and I'll be adding it at the very last end of my jollof rice. Okay, I love to see it vibrant in there. That is how I like it. Okay, but you can also decide to add everything together at this point. All right, this is looking and smelling so good. Everything very important for me to stir very well, especially under the bottom, because I do not want it to get burned. All right, so once that is done, I'll also go ahead and introduce my natural blended spices, the salt and some curry powder and the bay leaves and my nutmeg. I needed a little bit of salt, so I added it and give it a good stir, added about a cup of water and cover it, and it's now time for me to get my rice ready to be added into this amazing stew. Okay, so important, as I always preach on here, to wash your rice. Okay, it's very, very important. So I washed my rice 4 times just to make sure that the water that came out was very crystal clear before I then went ahead to add it to the stew. Okay, this is absolutely great to practice anytime that you want to make your rice fluffy and singled out. All right, so right now we're going to add our rice to the stew, and yeah, the jollof is about to go down. And as always, my goodness, jollof rice needs a lot of stirring. Okay, so all my stirring association, please, let's gather here. You stir and make sure that everything is well mixed together with the stew. It has been salted well, but you can go ahead and taste for salt. If you feel the need to add more, please do well to add it at this stage. And I also added about just a quarter cup of water to it. Cover it uniform and then cover it again with your parchment paper, which is going to trap the heat to cook your rice absolutely gorgeous for you. Okay. So we've got like 20 minutes waiting time for the rice to get ready, and I have a simple suya chicken that will be pairing this rice with it. In case you think suya chicken will be a great idea but you do not have suya spice around or anywhere to buy, I have a recipe here on the channel and I will link it right here for you at your own convenience. It's very, very helpful to have your soya spice at home. Okay, you can do everything and almost anything with it. Okay, I will sprinkle a little bit of salt and also some good olive oil, and this is going to be air fried. Goodness for air fryers, it just saves so much time and it's just so convenient to have at home. Okay, so I'll just put everything here and air fry this for about 20 minutes and we will be good to go, fam. It is so good. 10 minutes on our side, so it's the best time to saute all the vegetables that we will be garnishing this rice with, and it's also going to serve as salad. Okay, we're not going to make any more salad. These are vegetables and they are healthy. Okay, so I added in my onions and then goes in the carrot, saute it for about 3 minutes and add the rest of the vegetables. Oh my goodness, it was so simple but yet super delicious. So you family, the red kidney beans just was doing it for me today with this simple vegetable saute. It was just so delicious. You need to try this, and you don't even have to season it too much. I just added a little bit of all-purpose season that I was gifted by a friend this holiday season. It is absolutely delicious, and you do not have to also add too much because it has lots of salt in there. And I also sprinkle a little bit of the Maggi sauce seasoning here, and that is it. Voila. And with the vegetable saute, we give it about a little bit of 2 minutes steaming, and I just had to check quick on this rice and was doing amazing. It's now time for me to add my leftover corned guys. Yeah, was everything. It was so good, and this is the exact way I want my corned beef jollof to be seen. Okay, a little bit of the corned beef on top is just everything. I'll cover this and we have just 10 minutes on our side and our rice should be ready. And guess what, our chicken is also well air fried, and we will be enjoying this so much. It's so good. Just look at that. It was just nice and warm, and it smells so good. And yes, I sprinkle a lot more of my homemade suya spice, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, you need to try this. You need to have suya spice at home. It saves life. Okay. Okay, so our rice is ready, 10 minutes in, and it's so ready to be served. Just look at that. Oh my goodness. Family enjoyed a little moment, This rice was just amazing, fam. It was everything. Trust me, you need to try this corned beef jollof rice recipe to know it for yourself. So good. Really gorgeous, beautiful. And yes, we are done, and the cousin was just beautifully representing. Now it's time for us to garnish it with our sauteed vegetables or our salad this time around. Yes, we use this as salad. It was so good, fam. You need to try this combo. The red kidney beans was definitely doing it for me, fam. It was so delicious. Now it's time for us to create a very important family bonding through our meals. It was absolutely delicious. Thank you so very much, family, for joining me today. Stay tuned while we enjoy other two main jollof recipes that I love. Stay tuned because today is jollof rice over jollof rice over jollof rice. Everything is so good. Kobe jollof coming straight from my late grandma's kitchen. We are doing it all native style today, and I'm truly excited about that. I'd like to also welcome you back to the Lovystouch food channel. Please be seated and let's get started. Love, you will need more of chopped onions, both red and white ones, and you need your tomato puree, some pepper, and some fish seasoning or shrimp seasoning, some Kobe, of course, or salted tilapia, rice, your oil, and a little bit of tomato paste. So to begin with, we're going to cut our Kobe or salted tilapia into smaller pieces like this, as you see on your screens. As you can see, this was also soaked for about 2 to 3 hours before I started to use it. It's advisable to wash it about 2 times more once you're done cutting it, okay? Native as this jollof rice seems, we are going to be grinding it with our earthen bowl today. We are putting the blender aside, and we'll be blending or grinding our garlic, ginger, and a bit more of chopped white onions. And I also add about a teaspoon each of some rosemary and thyme, and I'll go ahead and blend it until they are perfectly smooth. We will not forget about our habanero pepper and some papushito as well. All right. Looks so good. And we are done with the grinding part. We'll go ahead and start off with the stew. So with our pot, we add our oil, use any oil of choice, and our chopped onions goes in. Fry that for about a minute. And I'll add 2 fermented fishes here, which is the momoni and our dawa dawa, which is called locust bean. They are so great for this beautiful jollof recipe. Make sure it's all infused very well, and then introduce. Add your grinded spices, which I also made mention of it earlier on. If you missed it, please go back and watch. Add everything, and the aroma here is amazing. Fry that for about a minute as well, and That should also fry for about 2 minutes, and add your tomato puree or your chopped tomatoes. I am going to rinse out the bowl and the earthen bowl as well, just to loosen up the thickness of the stew a little bit, and then introduce my seasoning. Here I just use some shrimp seasoning. Use any jollof seasoning of choice, it will work perfectly. And then introduce my Kobe or salted tilapia. Here it's very advisable not to add salt just yet, because the tilapia is really very salty, and you do not want to make your jollof rice overly salty. Okay, the Kobe has been added. Please be sure to cook this on a very low heat. This way the salted tilapia or the Kobe is able to release all the salt that it has to the stew. Okay, and add in some bay leaves. It's optional, but it makes it very aromatic as well. The aroma in here is incredibly amazing. I just love and adore Kobe so much. The authentic aroma is everything for me. So right now I'm going to take out the Kobe and set it aside, and then add our rice. I allow that to cook for about 20 minutes on a very low heat. So now we add our washed rice, our washed yasmin rice to be precise. It is so beautiful, and you see how saucy this jollof is already looking. That is what you want it to be. Okay, it's no better time for you to taste for salt than now, because the Kobe has released all the salt to the stew, and you need to taste if you need to add more or less. Okay, so right now we have cooked this rice for about 10 to 15 minutes, and it looks incredibly amazing, I can say. It smells so good. It's the aroma of this jollof for me, fam. You need to give this a try. So we have about 10 minutes ish on our side. I'm going to add some chopped red onions and cover it with a parchment paper for 5 minutes, and then I will just come back and we will see how things are looking. So at this point, the rice has been cooking for about 20 minutes. We have about 5 minutes on us to get this rice done. It's the best time for us to add our Kobe back to the jollof rice. As you can see, I reserved the head for later because I did not want to add it. It's quite bony and it might choke on especially the little ones. All right, so 5 minutes, cover it, and your rice should be ready. It is so tasty. The aroma of this and the flavor that will just melt in your mouth is on a high note. It's so good and reminds me so much of my grandma. Of course, this is how she always served her jollof, with some eggs and avocado, and the head was always somewhere relaxing for anyone who loved that extra. This is so delicious, family. I really hope you give this a try. I know that you're going to love this. So good. So there you have it, family. We are done. We just had the amazing time enjoying this together. Brought lots of memories back. So yes, on this note, it brings us to the end of this recipe. I truly hope you learned a thing or two, and please do not forget to give me a thumbs up, because it really helps the channel grow, and also share to a few friends and family as well. This Kobe jollof was super amazing and very delicious. Just brought lots of memory back. So stay tuned for more jollof recipes. And today we will be making fried jollof rice, and let me tell you, this is an absolute best jollof that you could ever have. You're about to be a jollof pro after this video, and please do well to catch up with the other 3 episodes if you missed any. Okay, do well to also like the video if you like what you're seeing already. Let's get started, family. You are most definitely going to love this so much. I have my already made tomato stew, and for the rice I do not normally do this, but this time around I'll be using 500 grams of jasmine rice and 500 grams of basmati rice. And here I have all my vegetables, which I link everything down below in the description box, and I'll be gracing it with some shrimps and chicken sausages. I also have some salt and curry and nutmeg powder just to revive the taste a little bit. So we start with our jollof process real quick. Into my heated pot goes in my tomato stew, then add the curry and nutmeg powder and I'll allow it to steam for about 5 minutes. And I'll also have the recipe of how I make my all-purpose stew, and I'll link it right here for you to watch. And for this recipe, family, I know I say all the time that you should wash your rice. This recipe needs that you wash your rice. It is so important. This is for you to avoid the rice from sticking together and becoming very saggy. We don't want that in this recipe, so you really need to wash it thoroughly until the water turns crystal clear. So once that is done, you go ahead and add your rice in your stew directly and stir it until they are all uniformed. Orange looking tomatoey color is just beautiful to watch, right? So I'll go ahead and add a teaspoon of salt. I'll add just about 2 tablespoons of water to rinse the corn rice. Cover it for 20 minutes, and after that your rice is done. With this, you don't even need to stir, just leave it for 20 minutes and it is done. Your parchment paper on a low medium heat will definitely do the amazing job for you. Just look at that, so good. So once the rice is cooked, find a flat surface and allow the rice to cool down. This helps with the frying process because you do not want them to stick together. Okay, allow it to rest for about 10 minutes before you start with your frying process. Okay, so while allowing that to rest, I'll go ahead and cut all my veggies. Please feel free to cut them into any forms and shapes that you prefer. All right, I chopped mine in quite large sizes, but you can definitely use the small sizes if that's what you want. Once I'm done with the carrots, I'll then go ahead and cut my bell peppers and onions, and also even go ahead and cut some sausages. I'm using chicken sausage. You can use any sausage of choice. Here everything is set and we're ready to fry everything together, and I needed oil to fry everything together, but I did not want to use fresh oil while I had excess oil on top of my stew. So this oil was cooked from my stew. It is not palm oil. Okay, so I'll then go ahead and fry the vegetables first. Make sure they're nice and tender. I'll throw in some of the green beans as well, and then goes in my chicken sausage. I'll fry them each for about 2 minutes. Once I'm done frying everything here for about 2 minutes, I'll then add the last but not the least ingredient, which are my bell peppers. I went in for large bell peppers. You can definitely also cut it into smaller pieces, especially if you do not like to see vegetables in your rice. Most of the time we have people like that. Okay, so I'll go ahead, season it with salt, and then go in with my rice bit by bit. I also added some shrimps, and to be fair, all the ingredients that I made mention of first has gone into this rice, and boy, it was so good. So happy with the outcome of this rice. Trust me, it was just so amazing when you're trying it, and I will gladly come. And yes, I'll go ahead with my final touch, which is the spring onions. Oh my goodness, lately I've been using spring onions like crazy. I don't blame myself. It makes every dish look so delicious. Just have a look at that. Oh my gosh. So yes, family, that brings us to the end of our fried jollof rice recipe. I really hope you try this. It's so good. No one, even those with trust issues when it comes to jollof, will give you 100%. Thank you so very much, family, for watching. I do really appreciate the time, and most importantly, I hope you're enjoying all this jollof series that we've been making here. Thank you so much, and do not forget to like the video and give me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this recipe. This jollof rice recipe is a showstopper. It is absolutely delicious. I tried. Let me know how you like it. Okay, so let's move on to our next recipe. Do we have seafood lovers in the house? If we do, please make sure to raise your hand in the comment section, because our jollof rice is here. We have this mouth-watering shrimp jollof rice on the menu today, which made its way to the third episode of our jollof series for the year 2022. So if you love shrimps, if you love your seafood, please make sure you give me a thumbs up already. Okay, let's get started. And as always, I'm super glad to have you here once again. Let's get right into it. Some oil, and we have some blended natural spices. I will show you exactly what went in as we go forward. Some curry powder, shrimp seasoning, yasmin rice to be precise, and I have some tomato puree, tomato paste, chopped onions, and I do have some mixed bell peppers, which have all been chopped. So let's go right ahead and prepare our stew. So in my pot, I'll go ahead and add my oil and chopped onions. Once the onions fry for about a minute, I'll add in my tomato paste. Please, the exact quantity is always listed below in the description box. Okay, so I'll fry that for about a minute, adding a teaspoon of curry powder, which is going to take away that sourness. I will cover it and allow it to cook on a low medium heat for about 2 minutes, and then go in with my natural blended spices. In here we have ginger, garlic, onions, and I also have yellow bell peppers together with its seed, and I also added a tablespoon each of fennel seed. I added rosemary. 1 habanero pepper for that hot kick. I'll allow that to fry for 2 minutes and go in with my tomato puree. Okay, if you have chopped tomatoes, it's fine as well. Go in with that and allow it to fry for about 10 minutes. Okay, don't disturb it. In the meantime, I'm going to get my shrimp prepped. I have cleaned this very well, and I'm going to go ahead and tap it dry and then add the seasoning. Go ahead and use any face seasoning of choice. Here I have some shrimp tablets, and I added some all-purpose seasoning. I drizzled about a teaspoonful of oil and then added everything together. But after adding it, I realized the color wasn't popping enough. So I added about a tablespoon of paprika powder. And once that got in, I really liked the outcome now. So it was go time. I went ahead to fry it on a medium heat on each. So all the shrimps are done now, and I'm going to add everything together and just put it aside. I'm super excited because it had a little bit of stock to it, which is so amazing. So after 15 minutes of this stew frying, it looks so good and smells so good. We are almost done with it, but before that we have to season it a little bit with some shrimp seasoning, a bit of all-purpose seasoning, curry powder, and some mixed bell peppers. Use any color that you prefer. I love the green and the red ones a lot. Okay, it's going to bring out so many flavors to this. Cover it and allow it to simmer for about 5 minutes, and then also taste for salt. If you think you need more, please go ahead and add. And once everything has been mixed well together, you just go ahead and cover it and allow it to do its final shimmering final sizzling and shimmering for just 3 minutes. While at it, go ahead and wash your rice. All right, washing your rice is key. All right, we are going to go ahead and add our rice to the stew. Make sure everything is well incorporated by stirring thoroughly, and you go ahead and cover it. This is it. This is basically it. You know, or you see how saucy this rice is looking as at now. You don't need to add any more water. Okay, this is always my take on it, and I will always preach that on here. I also went ahead to add some bell peppers for even more extra flavor. I used the yellow and the red one this time, and season it with a little bit more of salt. Okay, I'll cover it for about 10 minutes. Minutes later, you realize this stew has really evaporated and turned into that heat that we need to cook our rice with. It's perfect. Right now, stir it once more and cover it with your parchment paper. Make it cook on a low to medium heat for about 10 minutes. And 10 minutes later, voila! All that stew has really attached to every grain of rice we have in here. So good, so amazing. It is not perfectly well cooked yet, so we are going to add our shrimp at this point with a little bit of its stock. Oh my goodness. Oh, it is so good. Stir everything to combine and allow it to slowly cook once again for 5 minutes. All we have on our side is 5 minutes, and our jollof will be ready. And there you have it, family. Our jollof is ready now, and it was popping in color, which made me fall absolutely in love with the shrimp jollof rice. It was so good and smelled amazing. So it's now time for us to serve. Of course we have to do well to serve it and enjoy. It is so amazing, easy to make, and I really hope you give this a try. If you are allergic to seafood, do not worry at all. I do have tons of jollof rice recipes here. I'm listing few here, and everything will be listed below in the description box. Okay, we had some shrimp salad and some garden salad to pair with. It was so good. I really hope you enjoyed this recipe. So yes, our famous black shito of Ghana had to be representing as well. I do have a shito recipe here. I think 2 recipes out here. I'm going to list it down below as well. That was it, family. It was so good. I really hope you enjoyed this and you're going to give this a try. Please do not forget to give me a thumbs up, okay? And just like that, we are done with all our jollof rice recipes for today. I hope that you enjoy each and every one of them, and you make yourself some delicious jollof today, just to also represent a happy World Jollof Day. You want to also happy yourself with some delicious and gorgeous jollof. Thank you so much for watching, family. I hope that you enjoyed it and you're giving me a thumbs up and you're sharing with your friends and family. And if this is your first time here, hello, my name is Lovia from Lovystouch. My main goal here is to cheer you up into making your own delicious meals right at the comfort of your home. I also love to share kitchen related motivational videos, so please come on board and subscribe to join the family for amazing new recipes every week. Thank you so very much, family, for watching once again, and as always, know that you are so beautiful, so special, just the way you are. I will see you in my next one. Have a blessed day.